My husband was in the shower, just a few feet away, when his phone lit up on the kitchen counter. I miss you so much. I need to see you. The name on the screen? Marisol. My sister. I didn't confront either of them. I picked up his phone and typed back, using his words, his rhythm, the way he always wrote to her when he thought no one was watching. Come now. Doors open. 8 minutes later, headlights swept across our living room window. What scared me most wasn't the message, it was how calm I felt typing it. My hands were steady. My breathing was even. Some part of me had been rehearsing this moment for weeks without admitting it. Daniel had left his phone charging on the counter. The water was still running behind the bathroom door. For 2 months, I'd been counting things without meaning to. The extra hour at client dinners, the phone he started taking into the bathroom, the way Marisol had stopped meeting my eyes at family dinners and started asking, too casually, whether Daniel would be around this weekend. Marisol was my baby sister, 9 years younger. I was the one who drove her to college, who co-signed her first apartment, who sat with her through 2 breakups and told her every time that she deserved someone who chose her first. I didn't want to accuse her without proof, so I sent the message instead. The doorbell rang at 11:50. I opened it to find her already crying, mascara smudged like she'd been crying in the car for the whole drive over. She was wearing the black dress she'd bought for no reason last month. "Where's Daniel?" she asked, and then she saw my face, and the question died in her mouth. "He's in the shower," I said. "Come in, he's expecting you." "Renee, this isn't, I can explain." "Can you?" Behind me, the bathroom door opened. Daniel stepped out in a towel, hair still dripping, and stopped dead when he saw his mistress standing in our doorway and his wife standing beside her holding his phone. He looked at Marisol first, then at me. I didn't need either of them to say a word. I already understood everything. "What is she doing here?" he asked, not me, already trying to figure out how much damage control he needed. I held up the phone. That's what I'd like to know. Marisol broke first, sobbing into her hands. "Renee, it's not what it looks like." "Then tell me what it looks like." Daniel stepped in front of her. That single gesture hurt worse than the message ever could. His first instinct wasn't to explain himself to me, it was to shield her from me. "Don't talk to her like that," he snapped. "If you're going to be angry at someone, be angry at me." "Fine. How long?" Neither of them answered. "Daniel, how long have you been sleeping with my sister?" Marisol stared at the floor like it might open up and take her. Daniel's jaw tightened. 8 months. 8 months. 31 years of being sisters. 6 years of marriage. All of it collapsing into 2 words. "Get out," I said. "Both of you." Daniel actually laughed, disbelieving. "Renee, come on." "No. You're overreacting. You used the one night I was staying late at my mother's to invite my sister into our apartment. Tell me exactly which part I'm overreacting about." His expression hardened into something I didn't recognize. "If you can't understand what I feel for her, then maybe we shouldn't be married." That's when I saw it. The corner of Marisol's mouth twitched, not quite a smile, but close. She thought she'd won something. Something in my chest went completely still and cold. "Okay," I said, "let's get divorced." Neither of them expected that answer. I went to the bedroom, pulled out a suitcase, and packed my passport, my laptop, the deed to my late father's cabin, the one thing that was mine and mine alone, and every financial document I could get my hands on. Daniel blocked the hallway on my way out. "If you walk out that door, there's nothing to come back to." I looked him dead in the eye. "Good. I don't want anything to come back to." In the elevator, my phone buzzed. Marisol. "I'm sorry, but I love him." I stared at the words for a long moment, then I typed back, "Then keep him." I don't accept returns. What neither of them knew was that I'd already copied every bank statement, every wire transfer, every joint account log from the shared cloud drive 2 weeks earlier, ever since I'd first noticed the numbers not adding up. I'd also requested the lobby's security footage archive for insurance purposes the week before. I spent the rest of that night going through statements at my mother's kitchen table, certain I'd find hotel charges, jewelry, restaurant bills, the ordinary evidence of an affair. Instead, just before sunrise, I found something else. 6 months of withdrawals from our joint account, each one just under the amount that would trigger a bank alert. Careful, deliberate, practiced. None of it had gone to Marisol, and when I finally traced where it had gone, I understood that Daniel's affair with my sister was the smallest betrayal in the story, a distraction I'd been staring at so hard I'd almost missed the second one hiding behind it.
3:14 a.m. I almost didn't find it. The withdrawals were too clean to be an affair. No restaurant charges, no jewelry stores, no hotel chains, just transfers, each one routed through a payment app to an account named D. Reyes Consulting LLC. I didn't recognize the name, so I searched it. It took me 40 minutes to find the state business registry filing, registered 11 months ago, listed officer Daniel Reyes. My husband. He'd opened a shell company under a slightly different version of his own name and had been quietly feeding it money from our joint account for almost a year, starting 5 months before Marisol ever came into the picture. I sat with that for a while before I kept digging. The LLC had its own bank account, and thanks to the joint login we'd set up years ago for transparency, I could still see the linked statements. Money came in from our account. Money went out to 3 places. A payment to a property management company in Asheville, North Carolina, a state we'd never once visited together. A recurring monthly transfer to a woman named Priya Chandrasekaran, and a lump sum 4 months ago to a fertility clinic. I read that last line 3 times before it made sense. I wasn't looking at an affair. I was looking at a second life. By 6 a.m., I had a name, a city, and a LinkedIn profile. Priya Chandrasekaran, 34, marketing director, based in Asheville. Her profile picture was from 8 months ago. In it, she was laughing at something off camera, one hand resting on a stomach that was unmistakably, visibly pregnant. I didn't cry. I didn't feel the ground drop out from under me the way I expected to. I just felt very, very awake, like I'd been sleepwalking through my own marriage and someone had finally shaken me hard enough to wake up. Marisol had been the affair he let himself get caught having. Priya was the one he'd built an entire second address around. At 7 a.m., I called a divorce attorney my coworker had recommended years ago, half joking after her own marriage ended. I didn't half joke when I left the voicemail. At 8 a.m., Daniel texted me, "Can we talk? I'm sorry about last night. I panicked." I didn't respond to that one. Instead, I forwarded him a single screenshot, the LLC filing with his name on it, and wrote, "Which apology is this? The one about Marisol or the one about Asheville?" He didn't text back for 6 hours. When he finally did, it was one word: how. Like the only thing that had actually surprised him was that I'd found it. I filed 2 weeks later, not for the affair with my sister, though the attorney said I could cite that too if I wanted the paper trail to look worse for him in mediation. I filed on the financial documents. 6 figures moved out of a joint account into a shell company, funding an apartment, a girlfriend, and I'd learn later from the clinic's billing department, who assumed I was still Mrs. Reyes and entitled to the records, a baby due in October. Marisol tried to call me 4 times that week. I let all 4 go to voicemail. On the 5th, I finally answered, and before she could get a word out, I said, "Did you know about Priya?" The silence on the other end told me everything. "No," she finally said, quiet. "I didn't." "Neither did I said. "Funny how that works. We were both so sure we were the secret." I hung up before she could say anything else. I'm not ready to forgive her. I'm still not sure I ever will be. But I understood in that moment that she and I had both been cast in the same small, humiliating role in a much bigger story, and neither of us had even gotten top billing.